My name is Tom Church, and I'm the owner of the Church Law Firm. We've represented countless hemp businesses against unlawful government overreach. Last week, Congress passed legislation that would effectively ban most hemp products on the market. Let's talk about the first way, banning THCA products. The new law effectively bans THCA products on the market by redefining hemp under federal law to mean 0.3% or less of not just Delta-9 THC, but also THCA. Under the 2018 Farm Bill, which is still in effect for another year, hemp just means any part of the cannabis plant or cannabis extract that's 0.3% or less of Delta-9 THC. THCA is not part of the legal limit. THCA is what's called a precursor for Delta-9 THC. That means it's THCA in acid form. THCA is tetrahydrocannabinolic acid. Generally, marijuana produces more THCA than hemp does, but it exists in both plants. By itself, THCA is not intoxicating, but when exposed to heat or over time, it converts into Delta-9 THC. Opponents of cannabis legalization called the 2018 Farm Bill definition of hemp a loophole because it allowed smoke shop owners to sell products that had high amounts of THCA, but under 0.3% Delta-9 THC, including THCA flower and high THCA products like vapes. Even though these products were just as intoxicating as marijuana or illegal THC, they were legal under the 2018 Farm Bill. The new law changes all that by redefining hemp under federal law to mean not just 0.3% or less of Delta-9 THC, but total THC, which means Delta-9 and THCA combined. So all products will have to come under 0.3% or less of Delta-9 or THCA combined. With a legal limit that low, 0.3%, virtually every THCA product on the market is going to be prohibited. That means THCA flower is going to be considered marijuana, and high THC vapes will be considered illegal THC. That is what's going to be known as closing the THCA loophole. Certain states like Georgia have already closed the THCA loophole by passing their own legislation and their own comprehensive regulations for hemp products. The federal ban is an extension of that would apply nationwide. Let's talk about the second way that this new law would effectively ban most hemp products on the market. The new law targets synthetic hemp-derived cannabinoids like Delta-8 THC and THCP. These hemp-derived cannabinoids are often referred to as designer cannabinoids or minor cannabinoids. The 2018 Farm Bill legalized cannabis in all forms and all cannabis derivatives and cannabinoids as long as they contain 0.3% or less of Delta-9 THC. Delta-9 THC is the cannabinoid most commonly associated with getting people high. By focusing just on Delta-9 THC, however, the Farm Bill essentially legalized a variety of other cannabinoids that could be extracted from cannabis, including from the hemp plant. That includes Delta-8 THC, Delta-10 THC, HHC, THCV, CBN, and CBG. In fact, there's over 100 cannabinoids that can be extracted from the cannabis plant, all of them with different effects. Some of these cannabinoids are intoxicating like Delta-9. Some of them, like THCP, are even more potent than Delta-9 THC. Some of them, like CBN and CBG, are not intoxicating. All of these cannabinoids, however, are extracted through chemical conversions from hemp. First, you start with a hemp biomass, and from there you get CBD. Now you can take that CBD and from it synthesize Delta-8 THC, THCV, THCP, and all of these other minor cannabinoids. As long as these products containing minor cannabinoids contain less than 0.3% Delta-9 THC, they were legal under the current Farm Bill. That's what's going to change in a year when this new law goes into effect. This new law would ban products containing Delta-8 THC and other hemp-derived minor cannabinoids. It would do so by excluding from the federal definition of hemp any hemp-derived cannabinoids that are not naturally occurring in the plant or that were manufactured or synthesized outside of the plant. And that's going to apply to virtually any product containing any of these minor cannabinoids, regardless of the amount of Delta-9 THC. The language in this new law effectively amounts to, if it was made in a lab, it's illegal. Under this new law, vapes, gummies, drinks, flour, any kind of product containing any amount of Delta-8 THC or other synthetically derived hemp cannabinoid will be considered a controlled substance and illegal under federal law. Last, but certainly not least, let's talk about the final way that this new law would effectively ban most hemp products on the market. The new law imposes a hard milligram cap on hemp products containing THC and other intoxicating cannabinoids. Specifically, under the new law, hemp products have to contain 0.4 milligrams or less of THC or any other intoxicating cannabinoid in order to constitute hemp. Otherwise, they're a Schedule I controlled substance and illegal to possess or sell. As we've already discussed, this new law takes aim at intoxicating cannabinoids in a few different ways. First, you have the THCA ban, which we've talked about. Second, It prohibits synthetically derived hemp cannabinoids like delta-8 THC in any amount. However, there are still products out there that wouldn't fall under those two bans. Specifically, we're talking about products that have less than 0.3% delta-9 THC. That could be vapes, drinks, gummies, all containing less than 0.3% delta-9 THC, but which can still be a little bit intoxicating. A really popular product in that industry are THC seltzers. These often contain 10 milligrams or less of THC, so they're legal, but they are mildly intoxicating. The same can be said for THC gummies that contain less than 0.3% delta-9 THC, but several milligrams of THC. To ensure that they were banning any potentially or mildly intoxicating hemp product on the market, Congress passed a hard limit of 0.4 milligrams of THC per product or any other intoxicating cannabinoid that produces a similar effect. The government gets to decide which cannabinoids those are. Under the new law, any hemp product that contains over 0.4 milligrams will be considered a Schedule I controlled substance and illegal to possess or sell under federal law. By imposing such a low milligram limit, almost every THC product on the market will be banned. That includes those THC seltzers and those THC gummies that contain less than 0.3% delta-9 THC. In fact, this milligram cap could also ban some non-intoxicating products. For example, full-spectrum CBD products are not intoxicating, but they include naturally occurring amounts of THC, which could exceed that 0.3% limit. The milligram cap is a catch-all that's made to ensure that all potentially intoxicating hemp products are gone. Hemp businesses and consumers have 1 year to learn the law, challenge it in court, or to petition lawmakers to change it. In the meantime, the Church Law Firm will keep working to make sure that you guys stay up to date on the latest.